C11. Sounds like a code name or a chemistry element, but is in fact the name of the latest Zhiyun flavored product. If you're wondering what would happen if we're mixing huge gimbal design experience with super budget-friendly price, let me show it to you right now. Welcome to the Tech4O YouTube channel. I'm Michael and I'm very glad to meet you here. Would be nice if you subscribe, because this is the way you can get notified about all the cool gadgets we review and test over here, and helps the channel to grow and make these reviews meaningful for more people. The Cinepeer C11, that's how the gimbal is called, but if you've been monitoring the world of smartphone gimbals in the past few years, probably gonna get a flashback, because this is a variation of the body of the good old Smooth Q, with some improvements and some features which have been cut off, but more or less the very same kind of performance, similar behavior and features. I've always had my sympathies for the original Smooth Q and all its features, and when I saw the form factor, the materials and design, I thought, wow, call it faith, but I really want it back, because I kind of missed the Smooth Q when I gave it away, and this Cinepeer C11 looks so similar, but no, they're not exactly the same. Now, at the moment of making this video, the price of this gimbal is exactly $79, which is way less than what you pay for the Smooth Q2, again by the same company, Zhiyun, and it's much less than what you would pay for the DJI Osmo Mobile 3, but of course it lacks some of the good features that both mentioned gimbals are supporting. By the way, this is a real live vlogging test, recording with my smartphone, and I want you to hear whether there are any noises caused by the motors, and excuse me because today it's a little bit windy, so probably the wind is going to be disturbing a little bit as well. Concerning the places you can buy it from, you can find it on Amazon and a few big Chinese wholesale websites, and all the links you can find placed in the description below the video. Of course, the C11 lacks that kind of innovation, the special form factor or buzz, but it delivers superb stabilization, good smartphone app, and perfectly fulfills the task of enabling you to shoot smoother videos. This is how the gimbal arrives, in this good-looking, well-protected and rather bulky packaging. The unboxing is certainly fun, and there's not too much to discover on the inside, just the gimbal, the charging cable, and the papers. That's all. Some specs. 3 axes of stabilization, panning is 300 degrees, 320 degrees for tilting and rolling. That is similar to the Smooth Q, with exception of panning, which is limited in this case. Supports devices with payload between 75 and 200 grams, meaning both smartphones and action cameras will fit. 440 grams total weight, 4000 mAh battery, which can act as a power bank, Bluetooth, and a few easy-to-use control buttons. The battery runtime is expected to reach up to 12 hours, a remarkable value, and you can also use it as a power bank. Pretty nice is the option to be able to record for prolonged time and to charge your phone at the same time. And this nice mount screw at the bottom lets you add more gear. You could mount a microphone or portable lights to make the experience better and equip your vlogging gear for any kind of shooting environment. Keep in mind that the gimbal charging port is just micro USB, another evidence of its pre-2020 orientation. Let me guide you through the controls. Pretty simple to use. There's the on and off button, and that's clear, indicator for the battery level, a mode button with the corresponding LED, and right next to it is the joystick. Single press of the mode button will switch between pan follow and lock mode. Double press switches between full follow mode and POV. The difference between these two modes is that with the so-called full follow mode, the rolling axis is locked, meaning that the horizon is steady. With POV, it follows all the movements in any direction, and it is meant to be used for more dynamic environments where you want to underline that dynamics. A triple press recenters the gimbal. Let's now have a look at some footage examples and info about the performance. The shooting scenes are mostly down to your creativity. With some good ideas, you'll be able to shoot some wonderful videos, especially with a little help from the app. In fact, it is the same app as the one used for the current Zhiyun gimbals, including the Smooth Q1 and 2, the Smooth 4 and even the Weebill S that was reviewed a while ago. we're supposed to find out how the object tracking actually works. So let me explain. We first opened the Z-Play app, which I don't know why, but makes my front camera look with very weird resolution. Anyhow, it's still gonna work, I hope. So we press this little dot over here. We select the object, like my face. And now I'm slowly going away. And theoretically, yeah, it's kind of following me. Even if I'm going away, too far away. Now I'll go by the trees where the sunlight is actually coming from. And, well, not too bad, right?
On the other side, you can notice that tricking the gimbal into following something else is not quite difficult. In this example, I select the scooter, but once my shadow passes, the gimbal follows the shadow instead of the initially selected object. Stabilization is good, but the motor seemed to be a little weaker for what is expected in 2020, and placing the OnePlus 7, while the clothes are really fantastic and there's a good space even for phones with thicker cases, like I have a bumper case, and it perfectly fits. And that's great, because with the Smooth Q2, for instance, that's not possible. But there was no way to perfectly balance the phone, and the larger it is, the more strength the motors will use, and that's gonna make them warm. Shouldn't be too much of a concern. I tested mine for almost an hour, and the only side effect of that was just becoming warm. From the app, you can quickly switch between the settings. Make sure to change the default values, because both photo and video resolutions were set to the minimum defaults at the start. And to get extra smoothness, you may enable the additional electronic image stabilization. Keep in mind that to avoid these up and down obvious movements, it is very important that you walk properly. In the comments below most smartphone gimbal reviews, I see that complaint that there are some visible parts where the footage is not that smooth. Well, surprise! This is exactly why professional gear is heavy, has counterweight, and requires two hands and the operators walk in a funny way. That's how you make really smooth footage. And the rest is compensated in post-production. I think you can get good footage with the C11, and it performed well during my testing. Although it is a limited version of a good smartphone gimbal, there's nothing that you're really gonna miss. From the fancy features, there is no inception mode, but the plate allows you to put an action camera or to change the angles and even shoot in portrait mode. Oh, and with that extra conversion plate, I'll leave a link to it in the description, you could mount any action camera that looks like a GoPro. Operation is easy, battery life seems to be decent. I think that gimbal, while being entry-level, is a good choice. Doesn't cost much and delivers good performance, not as great as the Smooth 4 by Zhiyun or the Smooth Q2 even, but a good way to resurrect a well-known for its reliability tech with some cropped functions, but also at a slimlined price. That's what the Cinepeer C11 has to offer. Made by Zhiyun, and whether it's the beginning of a new budget sub-brand or simply an experiment to assess the market, too early to say. And I guess it's now the perfect place to say a big thank you for watching this video on my channel. All the equipment that showed up throughout the episode is linked in the description. Make sure to check that out. For any questions and comments, head over to the area below the video. I'm Michael, very pleased to have you around as usual. Take a good care of yourself, shoot smooth footage, and I'll see you in the next one.